We all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Alvarez.
Here.
Councilwoman Eckhart.
Present.
Councilman Larka.
Here.
Councilman Lord.
Here.
Supervisor Hay.
Here. Make a notation of the exits in the front and the rear and the electronic device. Please put it on vibrate. We're going to come out of the executive session. No action was taken, so moved.
I'll second. Here.
All in favor? Aye. First item on the agenda this evening is the swearing-in ceremony of Eric Larka, new town councilman. Congratulations. Now, Eric, if you can go up there by the mic and introduce your guest.
You want to come up?
Yes, please.
Well, can I stay right here, so you want me to stand over there?
Yeah, you want me to hold the mic?
You have to, no, I'll stay, okay, I'll do that, okay. I guess it's supposed to be taped.
I don't want to steal all the sun and stand in the kitchen.
You can bring up your wife and daughter to stand beside you if you want while you take the oath.
Oh, sure.
This is good. Now, I talk into this, is that right for the,
Yeah,
team?
and Joe and Monica and his wife and child, come on up front.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on up. Family, everybody come on up.
She's so cute. Ooh.
Come on over. Thank you. I just want to say a couple quick words if I can. You know, I started out, and I want to thank you for this privilege and honor. It's amazing. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday Season, all that good stuff. And thank you for all the good work you do for the town of Southeast and throughout Putnam. I appreciate everything you all do. Eric Larka has deep roots in this community, and I wonder if we really understand what that means. Let me give you a little sampling if I can. His grandfather, Joseph Larka, was Putnam County Highway Inspector, and his grandmothers, Juliet Larka and Helen Castillo Coyle, were employed by the Brewster Central School District and St. Lawrence O'Toole School, respectively. His mother, Monica Larka, immigrated to the United States from Argentina when she was a child and moved to Southeast in the 1950s. She taught at St. Lawrence O'Toole School for 15 years before moving to the Brewster Central School District, where she taught for an additional 25 years at Garden Street and JFK. His father, Joseph Larka Jr., moved to Southeast from the Bronx in the 1950s and was an electrician and small business owner of Precision Electric for over 40 years. And if the sound system is a little off, electricity, he's the one who wired this building. You take it up with him. Eric attended St. Lawrence O'Toole and graduated from Brewster High School in 2001. His first job was at Palmer Brothers Hardware on Route 22. He then worked at M&T Bank in Southeast Somers and is currently employed at a Fortune 500 company. In 2012, he married his wife, Jeanette, and together they purchased their first home in Southeast. They have an 18-month-old daughter and look forward to raising Antonia in our community. And by the way, may I say deep roots in this community? 4th generation, right here. Eric has been on the planning board for 2 years and is exceptionally informed about the concerns and opinions of his residents. He is dedicated to transparency and accountability, making responsible decisions to continue developing our community while maintaining its character. Eric feels strongly about improving the quality of life for all the residents of the town of Southeast. He is particularly committed to fostering community spirit and can frequently be seen enjoying local events and activities with his family. He now has been elected and will continue and looks forward to helping and serving those in Southeast and so on. So I thank you for this privilege and honor. Are you ready now to be sworn in? If you would. You have, would you have it? Please grab it. raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible, and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Eric Larka,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the laws of the town of Southeast,
and the laws of the town of Southeast,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of town councilman
of the office of town councilman
in and for the town of Southeast,
in and for the town of Southeast,
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'll just say a few quick words. Thank you, Judge Reitz, for coming out. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'll be quick because it's past my daughter's bedtime. And my parents, yeah. But I just want to first thank Liz Hudak, who's not here, but I thank you for all the work that she's done for the town of Southeast. I know I have some big shoes to fill, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Thank you to my family, especially my wife Jeanette, because she's been extremely patient with me these past 5 months. And thank you to the community and everyone who's supported me. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to working hard for the town of Southeast, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to
You as well.
Merry Christmas, Judge. Merry Christmas.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, come on, don't leave.
It's okay.
They could watch my TV.
Wow, I feel deserted now. He brings the crowd. Okay. First item on the work session, I make a motion to go into the work session.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, first item on the agenda is the dumping of debris at different town areas. I think this is, I won't say resolved, but we made great progress with emails and letters going back and forth. There will be a few more letters going out on the subject matter, and it'll be worked on as the year goes on. Next item on the agenda is electronic waste. Okay, let me share. One, two, three. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3. Guess what? We have to share. Oh, good. Okay. On Tuesday, November 6th, this is the letter from the Putnam County Health Department to the town of Southeast and all towns within Putnam County. Towns and villages, but the towns are the ones that are basically running those programs with the county. So from the Department of Health, on Tuesday, November 6th, our department received a letter from Vintage Tech, the company that currently serves the 6 towns and villages with electronic waste recycling. They informed us that as of December 27, 2018, Vintage Tech will no longer be able to service our towns with electronic waste collection, and the bins will be removed. This contract was previously negotiated by Putnam County Health Department in an effort to assist the towns and provide no costs for the towns or the county. The agreement with Vintage Tech expired in 2017, but Vintage Tech agreed to continue picking up e-waste at the town sites. Is that door open?
No, it's closed.
Okay, I got good ears and bad eyes. Okay, now with the increasing cost of this type of service, it is not feasible for them to continue service in Putnam County. Our department has contacted several of our permitted waste haulers, there are numerous ones in the county, to see if they would consider serving Putnam County e-waste at no cost, but none have responded favorably. In the near future, the county will be reaching out to each of the towns providing these services to discuss the future of the e-waste collection for the respective towns. I cannot tell you how this is going to affect our town because it's disastrous. So what I first did was notify the board of this letter and made them all aware. I immediately contacted the Village of Brewster and asked Mayor Schoening and the Chief of Police in the village, could they assist us? Now, basically, as you know, the village has a village police force. The village is adjacent to the town property, and asked them if they could step up patrols to help us kind of review what goes on down there. And they have agreed to do it tentatively. I then contacted the Putnam County Health Department. I talked with Victoria DiLeonardo. She runs the program pretty much with the county. And I asked about what was going to happen here in the future. Now, they don't have a remedy at the moment. They are searching. They may or may not find a vendor to take on these duties. And they're trying hard. I asked, the one question I wanted to ask, because we're all going to be stuck in a lurch, because people have been dropping off recycling, especially e-waste, for well over 10 years at this site. And you know when it stops, they're going to keep on doing it. And prior to that, our roads here in the town of Southeast and cul-de-sacs and, you know, back roads, all this stuff was being dumped. I'm afraid that's what's going to happen in the future. So with the help of the village police department, we're going to watch this particular site. The one thing they can't tell us, and I think my recommendation is they consider it to be hazardous waste, which it used to be before we went to the e-waste, and they would pick it up at least twice a year, not pick it up, you'd have to drop it off twice a year to a county site or a county facility. They have not committed to that as yet. So we're in a bind. So my recommendation, and I posted on the internet today, and basically says, effective immediately, this electronic disposal site, now this is the one at 10 Palmer Avenue, the highway garage, it's closed. For more information, they'll go to our website, which is www.southeast-ny.gov. And it also will say, discard of any materials here is littering. You may be subject to arrest and/or fines. Law enforcement and electronic surveillance is in effect 24 hours a day. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not threatening, it's a fact of life. So effective immediately, there's no longer an e-waste bin. You're to recommend that you keep it at your home, and just keep checking our website. We'll make announcements here at the town board when something is in effect. Once we find out if they make it a part of the hazardous waste day, and we let you know, that'll be twice a year, and then they would advertise where that drop-off would take place. And if not, we'll be working with the county to find out where we're going to put this. So immediately, it poses a problem. Lynn, if you don't mind, I would like you, this wording is not so-called Bible. Could you work with possibly the highway department?
Sure.
Now, one thing I'd like to see down at the highway department, again, the suggestion is to use barricades like on the weekends and after hours, possibly set it up at the bottom, something that could be moved, because as you know, the police department, the village police department goes in there, our town trucks go in and out. During the day, they can spread out, in the nighttime, close them off, and we'll make up 2 signs. So what I'd like you to do, if you could, if you like this wording or use it as a template to do whatever you want to do word-wise, I'd like it by Monday, so I can have the signs made up. We'll get 2 signs made up, 4 by 4. If you post a barricade, if you choose not to put a barricade, I'll leave it up to the department and yourselves what you'd like to do. We'll get 2 signs made if the road gets not blocked. Now, if it gets blocked off, I recommend leave enough room for people to turn around and go out without
Right,
backing into
right.
the road. So go in, 20 feet or something.
Yep.
But this sign has to be prominently displayed, and where the bin used to be, post another one. Because what's going to happen, people are going to move the barricade, go in, drop it off and go. But there's electronic surveillance, and ladies and gentlemen, we will be looking. The police will be going by, and I'll also be writing a letter to the New York State Police tomorrow and the Putnam County Sheriff's Department to ask them to assist in that issue.
And the clothing bins will be taken out as well.
Yes,
Is
a
that correct?
recommendation was made to remove those clothing bins. We do have one here, and again, don't go by clothing bins and drop off your electronic waste. It's not where it belongs. If we find out where it comes from, we have to go chasing it, because it's considered littering. So that will go into effect basically.
Just a point of clarification, usually you have once or twice a year, like hazardous material drop-off.
That's what I said.
Like paint and all that, but I consider this electronic waste. Is it really the same thing, or, I'm not so sure you can go drop off your TV.
No, they did, in the old.
At a hazardous waste.
Previously, that's where it was collected. Then they put it in the different towns and made it just e-waste only. That's not gonna happen anymore.
Right.
So, it's up to the county. they could set, at the hazardous waste day, it's hazardous waste. I mean, it's, the electronics, the chemicals, or whatever they are, and we don't get just
In my
e-waste.
mind, they're just two different things,
Well-
so I just looking for
Okay. And
And
clarification.
they might stay that way, we don't know
Yeah.
yet. But I think the important thing for people to know too is that you've looked into this, and it seems not to be affordable for the town to do, so we're looking really to the
Yeah,
county.
well, not individually, maybe,
Right.
a collaborative effort, also the whole county, or quite possibly, Lower Hudson Valley or something like that. This is a growing problem, just like it is with the recyclables, how we had here 2 weeks ago, with China not wanting to take most of the recyclables. There's just no money in it now, so nobody wants to do this, but yet at the same time, we're destroying the environment. So, I mean, e-waste is far worse than some of the other stuff we throw away.
Well, the reason I use it, the hazardous waste day, it's done at least once, possibly twice a year. You have to give people an alternative where to go. Now, one of the alternatives they told me as well is you can go back to where you purchased it from. I mean, some of the stuff I see down there are like dinosaurs. I haven't seen them in like 20 or 30 years. Crazy Idiot went out of business long ago. But
Years
if you
ago,
buy
you could go to
something,
like Best Buy or something
you
and
buy
pay
from
10
Best
bucks and then
Buy.
take the computer, but I'm not sure they're doing that anymore either.
no, they don't. So it's really gonna put us in a bind. Again, I would suggest if they do it at least twice a year, we could put a bin here that same day, possibly, but not something that's gonna be there every day. And we have to have a tighter rein on it when it happens. So right now, when you go to that website, it's gonna be saying closed effective immediately. We don't have an answer yet. We're gonna be working on it from now until something comes up. We can't tell you when, but we're gonna work on it.
I will call the superintendent tomorrow, and work on this, and have something for you Monday. And I'll give our new state senator a call too, to see, and maybe Assemblyman Byrne too, and see if the state is going to be able to pitch in and help us in any way. So
Good,
I'll take
thank
care
you.
of that.
So that's your assignment, if you don't mind?
It's fine.
Thank you. Okay. Next is a revised assign law. Will, have you had any opportunity yet to move forward with any of that? Or we're gonna wait till we're out to the first
I'm
of the
still
year?
doing the research. I mean, I'm trying to find some essentially bulletproof local codes, but it's gonna take me a little bit longer.
Okay, we're gonna keep it on the agenda every meeting. It's gonna probably move along at snail's pace at the end, and when it gets done, it'll look like we snapped our
Can I-
fingers and it got done.
Could I ask a question now for
Yes.
Will? What was really, it was a bit confusing in the literature you gave us, the municipal control of signs, Will, which was really very helpful, but it seems that the commercial part of it could be problematic as well. Although I think if we lump temporary signs together, then it seems like it would work out, but commercial property is pulled out of this is a bit different. Did you notice
Well, that's
that?
because there is a different standard for commercial
Right.
speech versus
Right.
free speech,
Right.
if you will.
Okay.
But I think we're more concerned with, I think this board is concerned with the proliferation of signs littering the sides of the road. So what I think that we need to do, or from a starting point, is to say that there shall be no posting of no signs or bills in any highway right-of-way.
Right.
And that any temporary signs that are going to be permitted would have to be on private property, whether it's commercial or residential. And not differentiate so much about what types of temporary signs. 'cause
No, we
that's where you-
can't differentiate at all.
That's where you run
Right.
into
Right,
the content prohibition.
right.
So it's just a matter of, I think the sign code can become very simple.
Right.
But it's not, even with simplicity, it tends to have the potential for a lot of your constituents complaining that they can't get the word out that, something's going on. So-
Right. No, and I think the problem I saw with, because content is the big thing, that we can't, really can't regulate the content at all. And so my concern, and although they do differentiate in here between commercial and residential, so my concern, and certainly a business owner has a right to put up a sign, But if we can't do content, and we've been successful in not having a lot of signs, junky-looking signs, frankly, at commercial establishments or in front of them saying, there's a sale or whatever, we can't differentiate anymore if they put
But
up.
I think you can, by saying you can't put up, and I think that that is part of our current code that wasn't really necessarily part of the challenge, is that there are, in our sign regulations, where people come in for permits, they have, standards, size, location,
Right.
and well, basically, time, place, and manner, which are permitted. That is in commercial context, you're saying, when they get their site plan approval, this is your sign.
Right.
And the ARB will sign off on it as far as its aesthetic
Right.
appearance. But there are currently prohibitions putting up things in the windows of stores, and it's just, those are still very valid restrictions on the use of types of signage in commercial context.
Right,
You
but
can-
here,
you can-
let me use an example, because this is where I'm confused, and maybe you can straighten me out on this. But let's just pick, because they never do it, Putnam County Savings Bank, because they don't put signs up. So let's say they decide one year they want to support a political candidate, and they put that sign up. That's on private property, and currently, or in our new law, is freedom of expression and would be okay. But what isn't okay right now is if they put up even the same size right now of sale on mortgage sale or loan sale, or, great
They
CD.
can't do that.
I know, but why,
Because that's commercial speech. It's not political speech.
so politically they can, but that's not what I read in here, but let me read it again then and see, because I found that it was,
And that would be.
I thought you had to
that-
keep temporary signs, all had to be treated equally, despite the content. That was my question.
But I think you're confusing two things. As a commercial enterprise, they have a site plan and a site plan approval that they've gone through, and their signs are subject to permit. And if they start throwing up, we'll say the gas station up the street,
Right.
puts up a sign that says, okay, gas is now, we're having a gas sale. That's not, it's not part of their site plan. They don't have a permit for that.
Right, but that's considered a temporary sign. My question is, because it's based on content, I just think it's an area we have to be really careful of. It's, in other words, the content for vote for Tony Hay would be okay in front of their gas station, but not gas sale. So that's what I want to be careful of. I don't object at all to any of this in theory. I just don't want the town to be involved in more litigation, that's all.
Can they vote for you too?
Well, I think we have to, then we have to take a very hard look at what
Okay.
what defines a temporary sign.
Okay,
Is it a sign that's really gonna be the crux of how you're going to pass constitutional muster, I think.
right, okay. Well, I will reread this, and, because it seemed to me that because of content, they might be considered the same. And that's one thing I think that businesses in general, and we've really gotten away from, which has made the town look a lot better.
Oh, I agree.
You know,
And-
so-
And I think for the most part, the businesses in this community abide by
Yes.
those restrictions, but there are those that don't.
Right,
And we bring them into court.
right. So, okay, thank you.
And Lynn, like yourself, I questioned it as well, because when I first read the opinion of the judge, I didn't agree with it, because it pretty much, it didn't say exactly, but it was almost like if George Washington slept here, that would be considered a temporary sign. But I've heard since it's not. So I look forward to
But I
what
don't
you
think
come.
that would be considered temporary sign, because
Right.
usually when you have a historic market, it's there
Yes,
permanently.
yes,
Okay.
But we did differentiate in our code about, we exempted a bunch of different signs from having to get a permit. And I think that's what the judge found fault with.
right, because it is, all signs have content, and that's what, it can't be discriminatory, as I see it anyhow, so, okay. It should be really easy, just based on temporary signage, I thought, but when I read through this municipal control of signs, it didn't seem quite as easy as I had hoped, so anyhow.
I mean, the main intent when we started this was to basically clean up the town, like we said, and I know a lot of people have been very happy, you know,
Yes.
before we got into any legal issues, they'd come up to me and like, the town looks great, it's fantastic. So hopefully we can figure something out that, you know, we can balance both worlds out again, but more importantly, just keep the town sign-free or litter-free, for lack of a better way of saying it.
Okay, we'll continue bringing that every meeting until it's accomplished. Okay, make a motion to go into the regular meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. First item is settling the meeting dates of public hearings. All meetings will be held at 1360 Route 22, Brewster, New York, at 7 p.m. unless otherwise noted. Thursday, January 10, 2019 is organizational. Thursday, January 24th, 2019 will be the second. So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Is there going to be a meeting at the end of the month?
Yeah, but there's a meeting at the end of the month
Okay,
for financials, which I announced at the last meeting.
okay, but that's.
We're
not-
doing this evening because we want the public to be made aware of what's happening in January,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
It's just like a
Right.
So you don't want
forewarn,
that.
forewarn,
Thank
okay?
you.
Our next meeting will not be televised. It's gonna be on the 27th of December. It's gonna be a 4:15 meeting, and all we're gonna do take it that evening because of the holidays is take care of the financials of the town, and we're accomplishing everything tonight, and the organizational will not be just organizational, but a regular meeting as well. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Did we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 2, it's a resolution to adopt a negative deck for the home improvement, home occupation law, sorry. So moved.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 3, local law, number 4 of 2018, amending chapter 138, home occupation. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Southeast hereby adopts local law number 4 of 2018, which would enact amendments to chapter 130 of the code of the town of Southeast, entitling zoning, to further define permissible commercial operations in home-based settings with residential zones, and be further resolved that the town clerk be and is hereby is authorized and directed to A, enter said local law in the minutes of this meeting and in the code book of the town of Southeast, and B, give due notice of the adoption of said local law by filing such with the Secretary of State of New York within the time required by law. So move for discussion.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 4, resolution, amend CSEA contract. Bless you. Now therefore be resolved that the supervisor be and is hereby is authorized to execute an amendment to the collective bargaining agreement with the CSA, which commenced January 1, 2017 and expires on December 31, 2020, in accordance with the memorandum of agreement and in form and substance approved by the town attorney. So move for discussion.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, it's a resolution, ARB approval for Southeast Executive Park proposed parking. Now therefore be resolved that the town board hereby accepts and approves a report of the Architectural Review Board dated November 28, 2018, a copy of which is annexed hereto and made part hereof, in connection with the Southeast Executive Park parking project proposed for the premises located at 185 Route 312, and that such report, together with the documentation and drawings submitted in connection therewith, shall be incorporated in any final site plan subsequently reviewed and approved by the planning board. So move for discussion.
Second?
Quick discussion, just for all of you, that's the glass building on Route 20, no, not Route 312. It's a medical building, they need parking. If you've gone there, good luck getting a spot. So the town is going to be working out an option with them to share parking, and I think we're going to get about 70 additional spaces up there. That'd be a big help. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 6, resolution to approve and establish a performance bond for Ruffian LLC. Now therefore be resolved that the bond amount shall be established for the project set forth below. Project name, Ruffian LLC. Bond amount, Site improvements, $339,000. Erosion sediment, $20,300. Resolved that certified copy of this resolution shall be transmitted by the town clerk to the planning board secretary and building inspector forthwith. So move for discussion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 7, resolution approve settlement of certiorari Danza and Sons LLC, tax map 79.-1-47 and 79.-1-28. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Southeast does hereby accept the recommendations of its professional advisors and authorize the town attorney to execute a stipulation of settlement, consent judgment, and/or order of consent in accordance with said recommendation for the following. Petitioner, Danza and Sons LLC. Tax ID 79.-1-47, year 2018. Assessment 1.2 million. Settled assessment 1.1 million. Danza and Sons LLC. Tax ID 79.-1-48, 2018, the year. Assessment $2,080,000. Settled assessment $1,700,000. And be further resolved that the town attorney is hereby authorized and directed to execute any and all stipulations, consent orders, or other documents necessary to reflect the foregoing settlement. So move for discussion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 8, resolution to approve special district rates 2019. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Southeast hereby accept the recommendations of the special district administrator, finds that the rates set forth in such a recommendation are fair and equitable, and hereby establishes the rates for each of the town's special improvement districts for the year 2019 as set forth herein, the schedule of rates annexed hereto and made part hereof. So move for discussion.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. And for those residents up on Peaceable Hill, hopefully, before the end of the year, we should have had it done, but there's a few little snags we've hit. So your water should soon be from your own wells and not from the village. I think you'll notice a difference when it happens.
And there will, so residents know, there will be plant landscaping done, but it will not be till the springtime.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 9, approve intermunicipal cooperation agreement between Brewster Central School District Transportation Services. Now therefore be resolved that the town supervisor be and is hereby authorized to execute and deliver an intermunicipal agreement, IMA, entitled Transportation Agreement, to the Brewster Central School District in the name of and on behalf of the town of Southeast, wherein and whereby the Brewster Central School District will provide one-way transportation services for Brewster Central School District facilities to Thunder Ridge Ski Area for the students who participate in the town of Southeast after-school ski club program. I'd like to thank the schools for doing that for us. So discussion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's see, number 10 is appoint planning board. Okay, the town board conducted interviews tonight. We had 4 qualified candidates. I swear to God, I hate it when you have 4 people. I wish one person applying, you could say yes, because someone has to be told no, and I don't like doing it. I've said this forever. That's why when I ran, it was only me. That's why I got here, I guess, right? Guess not. Okay. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Southeast hereby appoints, recommendation would be James King, who has been duly recommended and deemed qualified to fill an unexpired term on the Southeast Planning Board to expire December 31, 2021. And be further resolved that this appointment shall take effect immediately upon the taking and filing of the appropriate oath of office and the afterward appropriate appointee with the clerk of the town of Southeast. So move for discussion.
I'll second.
Discussion.
I would just like to say, welcome Mr. King to the board. I do think he's qualified. I will be voting no on this because I felt there was a more qualified candidate who would add another dimension to the board. That is not to take away anything from Mr. King. As I said, I welcome him to the board, but I think there was a better candidate.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilman Alvarez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Eckhart.
No.
Councilman Larka.
Yes.
Councilman Ward.
No.
Supervisor Hay.
Yes. Passes 3-2. Recognition of the public. Could you come up to the mic, state your name for the record, please? Don't fight, guys.
I am Paul Marini from Eden Crosby Road, and wanted to bring up the road condition of Maple Road again. I've been discussing it for 20 years now. I think it's been particularly poor this summer, and I think it could be awful this winter with the road being so saturated. If we had a quick thaw, at some point we could end up with several inches of mud like we did several years ago. And I don't understand how this is considered an acceptable road condition. I don't think any steps have been taken since the last time this came up, probably 3 years ago, to improve the condition of the road, the type of material used, any drainage or any projects or anything along those lines. So I'd like to consider paving again. In that regard, I've done some investigation. I was told by a member of the board several years ago that the DEP would not allow paving. I did get in touch with the DEP, and that's not true. The DEP is obligated to allow paving as long as a stormwater pollution prevention program is provided. One was done 15 years ago or so by a town engineer. The DEP would be happy to allow that SWIP to be utilized by another company to create a new SWIP. It's called Stormwater Prevention Program. The DEP does not charge anything for, there's no extensive environmental costs to doing this type of project. There's no cost from the DEP. The only cost would be the paving and implementing any stormwater drainage issues. One thought I had that I think would help alleviate a lot of the issues people have with a project like this is we could actually grind up the pavement from Ann Road north. That's about a half a mile. And we could pave from Enoch Crosby Road north. That's about a half a mile. The DEP said that's a great idea. It may actually basically eliminate the need for the stormwater prevention program because you're retaining the same amount of impervious surface on the road. So I would like to consider that. I'm not sure what the process is for paving. Is it a town board decision? Is it a highway department decision? Does it come up for a vote? I don't know if that can be answered tonight, but I would like to find out what the next steps are if we can pursue this.
Paul, where did you say you wanted to pave from?
From Enoch Crosby Road north.
That means going toward Check Pool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
So, I don't want to belabor, we could get 50 people up here to talk about specific incidents where they've had trouble and that type of thing. We get some people to come in and say why it should not be paved, but, I think the bottom line is everybody from Enoch Crosby Road wants a way to get out without having to go over the dirt road, and I think by basically moving the paved area half a mile, and that would alleviate a lot of issues. So I'm hopeful that that's something that will be considered, but like I said, I'm not sure how to go about that. Is that something we bring up to the highway department, or?
I think you come to the right place. As you know, I think the last time we had any kind of a crowd here for any purpose other than interstate logistics was the paving in that road. We had that side in favor, that side against. Not quite that way, but it was almost 50-50. I'll let one person who lives on that road make a comment. I think that would be a compromise, maybe. I don't know who wants it, who doesn't. I don't know how we do it. I mean, I don't want to shove something down someone's throat, but it's 50-50, you can't win. So, Ms. Eckhart, you live on that road?
I
Tell us
will,
your
and
thoughts.
I will plead guilty, because I was the one who told Paul Marini, because I was told by the DEP that paving north, there was not enough room for retention basins. That's what I was told at the time. So I'm sorry if I misled you. I don't think,
I don't remember
really.
that conversation, it was someone else. but-
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take blame for that, because I have told people that, so.
And that's what we've heard. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, where do you put it? I mean, the reservoir's here, and it's right on the other side. There's no place to actually do it.
Well,
But if they
original-
claim that, who'd you speak
The original
to?
stormwater program that was proposed years ago was, it pitched everything from the road away from the reservoir, and then there were basins that mechanically treated the water and pushed it back under the road into the reservoir. So according to the person I spoke to, the DEP,
Who is that person? You have the name?
I don't have his name with me, I have it on my computer, but he's a local guy, he's from Carmel, he's here all his life, he's been with the DEP for over 20 years. He said that original plan provided better water quality to the reservoir than the existing road condition. Again, if we consider just moving the impervious area from one part of the road to another, there'd be no change in water quality. But the original one, like I said, had the water treated before it went back into the reservoir and all the runoff.
Right. And I would say for the record, I have no problem with making it dirt in front of my house. That's fine by me, because I've been accused in the past of thinking, oh, it's fine in front of your house, it's paved, but you know how badly it's paved too. And I don't have a problem with that idea. And I do know that some people felt that was a good compromise at the time, of not even grinding up that part, but actually gaining no impervious surface. What didn't even come into it, but they thought going north. The other thing I was told, and this is years ago, so we do have to check, I was told that the cost was prohibitive now and I'm going to quote, the paving alone was $250,000, and then there were problems with, and that wasn't for the infiltration or anything. I feel strongly about this, but, I work for you, and I have no problem looking into this and helping you out as far as knowing I think it's really important for both sides to know the true costs and see who feels what way about it. I think going that way is a better thought. So, I'm happy to work with you on that, and we can get to the bottom. And I think certainly Michael Bruin is going to have to be, would have to be consulted, because this comes out of his budget, correct?
And we don't let check with the town engineer. Do you
Yes.
have an extra copy of what you had there this evening? Or can you send it to
My
me?
notes.
Can
I
you,
don't
oh,
have
just,
the original stormwater.
oh, no, not that, no, I was wondering the comments. Can you just send what you had said? What I'll do is I'll forward them to the town engineer as well.
Okay.
We really don't have much of a skin in the game.
I do, but-
Lynn lives on that road. John lives right down the road and maybe likes to pedal there. So from my understanding now, you're saying you want to grind up one portion and put it at the other end.
Right.
I think it's silly to grind it up,
I'm-
but
I-
I think it might be a compromise that keeps everyone happy.
Well, I'll tell you, I hadn't heard it
Is
before.
it exactly the same distance? Because I think that from Ann to the end of the pavement is longer than from Enoch Crosby to the corner.
I have it being a little bit shorter.
Oh, really?
just From my car.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but,
Oh, okay. Maybe,
if it is longer, that might be all the more reason for the DEP to just approve it with no SWIP. But again, the SWIP, I'm not expecting the SWIP to be more than a few $1,000s. I don't think that's significant. The paving may be costly, but that's, what we need to get to the bottom of that. But-
Well, I think hard facts would be very helpful. I think you'll find that there's a lot of people for this and a lot of people, I think you'll see the same opposition and the same, and that's fine, and that's the way it should be, that's the way it works. But I'm happy to I think we need some solid figures on this too, so.
Yeah, I recall those meetings, and like everybody says, it was basically 50-50. Some people, strong arguments one way or other. What you suggested, that compromise came up, and I think that's one of the things we looked at. And don't quote me on it, but I believe we left off that it was under the purview of the highway superintendent, so he'd obviously have to weigh in. And I'm sure they can make the argument, as well as the maintenance that it costs now to keep it basically dirt, and what he does might be offset with definitely paving it. Again, I think
No,
you can make
that's-
the argument either way, I think.
But that's, over the 20-year period, that's been proven untrue. But I think the problem is that a lot of people who want it paved have good reason. They live in Crosby Hill and they want it paved. And then there are a lot of people from outside the area who come walk there, not outside, outside the direct neighborhood. So, we can go through that again. I have no objection to doing it again. Let's get the facts together.
Yeah, but a couple things I want to point out, at least from my memory, the original SWIP was to pave the entire dirt.
Yes, that's correct.
The compromise was to pave only half. I've never discussed with anyone, I've never heard anyone bring up grinding up part of the pavement and moving it to the north. So to me, that's something new.
Right, that is new.
I think a lot of people that were opposed to the paving for whatever, environmental reasons or whatever, I think this alleviates a lot of those concerns, and I think it would swing a lot more people into at least finding paving acceptable, maybe not being for paving, but.
Do you know how many homes are affected by what you're gonna supposedly grind up and make dirt? How many homes are
I
involved?
can tell you.
I think there's about 70 homes.
No.
No, that if it was ground, if the pavement were taken from where it is now,
About 8?
it would be, yeah,
You're included?
yeah, I'm included.
Oh, she'd love it.
Yeah, then,
About 7 or 8, I think.
yeah.
Okay.
No, it ends at, so there are 1, 2,
right.
3, 4, 5, I think.
5,
Yeah.
counting
But
beyond.
There's about 70 homes roughly in Enid Crosby that don't have any way to get out of the development without going on the dirt road right now.
And where do you live in particular yourself, Paul?
I live on Enid Crosby Road,
Okay.
so
It'll open up a can of worms again, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's fair. That's-
make an observation?
Come up
course,
to,
come
come
up,
up to the mic, please, sir. Name for the record as well.
okay, I think I'm all set.
Thanks, Paul.
You opened up a can of worms for next year, thank you.
That's what your board is for.
That's
And words,
correct.
right? Michael Ducrow, I live on 15 Deer Court, which is off in
Yep.
Crosby. And Paul's suggestion, I think, is a good one, the compromise, because those who voted against it last time, but for the reason that they like to walk on a dirt road, they still have a dirt road to walk on, because the longest part would still be a dirt road.
Right.
Plus, there's a lot of new population there, and you might get a different result from what you got last time. So I think it's time to look at it again.
No, I think you're right, and I think a lot of the argument is recreational use of the road.
Right.
And because the dirt does slow people down, that you make a good point. As I said, I think it's a.
It doesn't slow a lot of people down. If there's
But-
a 20-mile-an-hour limit on that, and it was enforced occasionally, you'd have far less work to do on that road, because if you go along there at
Yes.
20, you don't get dust. If you go along there at 30, you get a lot of dust.
Right, right. But
Thank you.
people, I walk every day, and when I get to the dirt part and you hear people go by and hit the pavement, they really speed up. That's just,
Yeah.
that, and that's what happens,
Thank you.
It's,
Thank you.
Okay, we'll start the process again and look for more audience next year. Anyone else from the public? Peter?
Hi, Peter Bell. On my way home every night, I go past Scalpino Park. And the other night, probably 8:30, there was a vehicle down by the washrooms, the bathrooms. And I always thought that those gates were supposed to be closed at dusk.
They
And
they actually should be closed for the season at this point in time.
They were
So
open.
they were
and
not-
They have been open for quite a while and not closed
Oh,
at
they-
night.
Okay, I didn't hear about it, but now you're telling us. I'll talk to Levon tomorrow. We try to, the vandalism takes place during the winter time, there's nothing that can be done there. Some people like to walk around that little circle, but for the amount of vandalism, it's not worth it, they should be locked.
Yeah, well, this was actually a car. There was a car,
I know.
lights on at night.
But the thing is, it's supposed to be locked up by
Oh,
the
yeah.
post office. Once it's locked, they can't get down there. All of our parks are supposed to be locked at this time of year.
But it has been locked for a while, just to let you know.
We know now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Town board.
Well, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Although, yes, because we don't meet again till after Christmas, and it
Yes.
won't be on television, yay. So,
I agree, just Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, definitely. Hopefully, everybody has a safe holiday. We'll see you next year.
Welcome, Eric. Thank you. Thanks.
Oh, that's it?
Now you
I'm
can say
looking
something.
forward to learning the ropes here, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year to everyone, too. Thanks.
I happened to speak to Liz Hudak today, and she wanted to wish her best to all the residents, and thanks for the support she had over the years. She wanted to wish Eric well, and she's very happy down in Florida. Okay, to all, for whatever season you celebrate this year, happy holidays, and we'll see you next year. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we close tonight's meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you all for coming.